rich people do rich things.
Yeah.
Rich people do rich things. When you walk into that Gucci store, there's no debate about the price. Not only could you afford it, right, but you may have even came for extras.
My name is V, PKA, poetically known as Lady Siren. And by day, I'm a fitness instructor. I'm always putting fun in your fitness. And by any other point I choose, I'm a poet, spoken word artist, and performer. So I shift energy regardless of what room I'm in or who I'm around.
Wow, that's a lot of energy right there. Hold on, let me run it back. We say fitness.
Fitness.
We say poetry. Wow. Was it something else? Superhero. Nevertheless, how you balance poetry and fitness? Is that kind of like, it sounds like a dance already?
Well, we can get to that, in a little bit, because I do combine my two loves.
Okay.
Yes, I really do. Okay. But I balance it like I do anything else. Honestly, I say fitness is how I make a living, but poetry and dance is how I feel alive. And those are very two different things. It's a part of self-care, engaging in your passions, and finding creative outlets, because the world is stressful enough, and everything is moving so fast. We're always on the go, and we're always overstimulated. Like, we're always attached to a device or being inundated with some kind of ads or just whatever the world has to offer and throw at us. So I take it like it's a practice. Like, it literally is a practice, being able to engage with your passions, pour back into yourself, and find those spaces where it's like, okay, this is something that's just for me, even if it is generating income, but this is for me.
Yeah, that's important.
Yeah,
to be doing something that's just for you. How did you come to the conclusion that what you're doing is just for you? Because you could have been you could have been making clothes. You could have been doing a lot of things. You could have been a rapper. Are you a rapper?
I am not a rapper.
You could have been doing a lot of other things. I'm from Philly. It's a bunch of Jacks and Jills here. I say this is a place where a bunch of Jacks and Jills and with no hills. And the hills is your bank account. The hills, that's your assets. It's a bunch of Jacks and Jills with no hills, right? And that only means everybody can do everything, but not everybody can do what they dare to do.
Yes.
Yeah. How you figure out that was your thing?
Well, I mean, poetry has always been in me. I've always been a creative spirit. It served as an escape in my childhood, being able to delve into books. I was like, always had my face in a book, and now I was always writing. And I feel like I always say I was writing poetry before I even knew what poetry was, or how to actually delve into poetical devices and stuff like that. So that's always been with me. Fitness is something that I got into a lot later in life, because at that time, prior to that transition, I was a case manager. So I was in social work, pouring into my community, helping the families, yada, yada, yada. And I was also in real estate with my partner at the time. So, we had multiple buildings underneath of our whatever, our
managing them.
Yes. Goodness. So we didn't pay a property manager, so we dealt with the tenants.
Anybody that ever been in the real estate, just know that's drama.
Yeah, very much, especially when people be moving in their baby mamas, and then they break up, and then somebody don't leave. It'd be a hot mess. It'd be a hot mess. So yeah, there was a lot of pitfalls there. But where I am now, I didn't see myself. Like, honestly, I didn't see myself.
Wow.
And I am happy that life led me here, that I opted whatever plane or universe I'm in, that this version exists. I'm happy to be cognizant on this version of myself.
That's good. So it's almost seemed like not going with the flow, but I've been going with the ebb and flow of life.
Right? Yes, absolutely, because there's always ebbs and flows, and it was a very intentional pivot. By all means, when I initially got into fitness, I was actually looking to apply for a job. I had went to this facility, took my kid. We tried out a gymnastics class, and we thought it was really cool. And I was like, you know what, this would be really fun. I've been working with kids all my life, but I knew I was coming out of case management, and we had moved out of Philly, so the commute was just trash. So I was just like, either way, this is coming to an end. And I was looking to do something more fun, but I still wanted to work with kids. And that's just way less stress than trying to figure out how you're going to keep this family in their home and whatever else is going on, issues that they got. So yeah, I went on the website to apply for a job and saw that it was a franchise. And then it was like, boop, light bulb goes off, and it's like, why work for it if you could own it? And it literally just snowballed from there, from a thought process to research and looking into it to talking to my partner, who is now the husband at this point. So talking to him and then running numbers, looking at our budget, looking at, we had just bought a house, yada, 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 doing all the things, right? Leading up to the point of, let's do it. Let's apply. Let's see if this can work. Right. So lots and lots of steps between, the light bulb going off and execution, but nonetheless, it happened.
You know what else I hear? Trial and error.
Yeah.
Trial and error. A lot of us, we so afraid to not only try, but we also afraid to let people see us try. Yeah. That's why I like catering to the leaders and that energy, because those people are not afraid for people to see them try. Yeah. They are right with failing. They are right with trying again. They are right with making mistakes. They are right with revisiting their mistakes and looking for some information that can lead to some problem solving, so we don't make the same mistakes. Leaders are able to do that. I'm glad you was able, right, to continue to look into your life and say, this isn't for me, because that's what a lot of us need to do. I've done it a lot of times.
Yes.
This ain't for me. It's one thing to know what's for you. Like, I assist people in finding their purpose or understanding their purpose, activating their purpose, upgrading your purpose, expounding your purpose, wherever you at in life as it relates to purpose. I'm going to assist you with. But prerequisitely, to understanding your purpose, you have to know what's not for you.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Because society in general, but definitely family, like whoever your closest people are to you, if you have certain people that's willing to push things on you because they think this works for you, they think this, I think you would be great. Whatever you think has nothing to do with what I want to do.
Right. That's right. Yeah. And it can have nothing to do with why I'm here on this universe.
Right.
Why I'm here on this universe. I feel like trial and error is the window of opportunity it takes for you to reach and realize your purpose. Because until I'm trying things, the greatest example I like to use is Michael Jordan. People with untrained eyes would think Michael Jordan's purpose was to touch that basketball.
Right.
But looking at Michael Jordan, you can see, hold up, the man played baseball before basketball. Stopped playing basketball to play baseball. And in all of this became a businessman.
Yep.
What part of him changed the world? It wasn't basketball. Wilt Chamberlain already hadn't did that. It was people around already.
You about to make the sports fans upset out here.
Right. And people are. So what I'm saying is, contrary to popular belief, he wasn't the inventor of basketball.
Oh, right.
He wasn't the inventor. So there was great people before and great people after. Right. His major contribution to sports was also not to baseball. He wasn't the greatest baseball player either.
Greatest wasn't
right,
but yeah.
But where he was good at, he changed not only the world but also his industry. He was great in business. Because he was great in business, Michael Jordan introduced multicolored basketball sneakers to the playing field. Before Michael Jordan, you'd had to wear your black and white shoes.
Yeah.
Mike introduced black, white, red, then the other colors came, then the other patterns came, right? He owned that shoe, was one of the first players to own his shoe, right? And he walked into an entrepreneurial world, right? That he more or less belonged to.
Yeah.
So sometimes I like to stop new creatives, new entrepreneurs before they take this idea and put it on a pedestal. You see, because your passion may not be your hobby. It may not be your purpose may not be your passion. Your purpose may not be your hobby. Your purpose isn't your interest. Your purpose may not even be your skills, right? Your attributes and abilities. We can keep going, right? None of those things. Michael Jordan's one of his skills, attributes, and abilities was basketball. Right? That's why I used him as an example. He had a bunch of skills, attributes, and abilities. He even had some hobbies. He liked to do golf. Like to do these things. Like to do these things. It was
a means to an end. And when you understand that something that you are doing might not be where you are going to stay. Like it's not a lane you're going to stay in.
Yes.
But it is a vehicle to take you to the path that you're supposed to be on.
That's right.
Yeah.
I look at the reason for things of those nature that fall in those realms as expression. Right? But it's only a piece of your expression. Your purpose is your ultimate expression that can manifest in different ways, right? And butterfly in many different rooms and dimensions and different fashions. But the interests, the passions, and the hobbies, these are the lesser versions of you. They can only go so far. You feel what I mean? If sewing was my hobby, I can only at the best be a sewer.
Right.
If creating is your purpose, imagine what you can create. We can't even stop on the list.
Yeah.
Or business for Michael Jordan. Or leading for someone.
Yeah.
You feel what I mean? Purpose, I understand, supersedes whatever little petty hobby or interest that we may have. And it's not petty. It's only petty when we try to turn it into a business.
Yeah.
Because don't nobody want to buy into with your games. These are your games. Your hobbies and all that. Don't nobody want to buy into it. But we understand that your business is aligned with your purpose. Like a lot of what you're doing. You're leading in this poetic field. You're leading in this fitness field. This would have met a leader. You feel what I mean? And that leading energy is why no matter what you do, right, that is going to remain consistent, right? And that's going to carry you into every level of your imagination before you even get there. Meaning it may be levels above that you may not even be able to fully fathom yet, but you know they're there.
Yeah. And I think because sometimes like that you spoke of fear earlier, like keeps you from doing certain things, or the quote unquote fear of failure. And sometimes it's just like, okay, that unknown factor, like I don't know. And how do you educate yourself about something you don't know? Yeah. Where do you start? So, it's kind of like this blank space between that wants, that learning, that execution. There's like all these blank spaces, and you get lost in the blank spaces. Yep.
And it's that, but in that moment is when you're going to find yourself. See, the person that retreat back to the position they was in, they never deserved the life that they asking for. But the person that can be in this darkness, to stay in this darkness, to know that they don't know.
Yeah.
And they keep going, you become something beautiful. Like you said, you didn't know that you would be doing this.
Right. I mean, but that's the level up, right?
That's right. That's the level up.
Sit in that space between, and then you start to navigate it, and then you start to develop that path. Like it's one of those, okay, do you see it when you believe it, or do you believe it and then you are allowed to see it? Which side of the coin do you which side of the coin do you want to go with,
I want to ask this. Since we're speaking on that, how has it been in Philadelphia in regards to working with so many people that need to see things to believe things, or they don't believe anything until they touch it, until they see it? Because we understand, listen, a huge part of creativity, a huge part of selling yourself, a huge part of producing anything of value from your own being is cultivating a certain belief or faith in whatever you're doing or whatever you're offering at the least outside of yourself, because we understand you already have this faith, right? But until it's translated on the outside, right, it's always going to be up to debate about the value of whatever you offer.
Right. Of course.
So I say all that to say, in the place and in the time that we're in, how has it been navigating through the poetry community and even the fitness community in the city?
Yeah. So take that question and what you just said about value, right? Because at the end of the day, if you take somebody who makes less than, I don't know, 40 grand a year and put them in a product store, they can walk out. They're going to walk out empty-handed. I'm just saying, like the average person, excuse me, the person that prioritizes their what they're supposed to do is going to walk out of the store empty-handed.
That's right.
So, I think there's this balance of navigating from a curator side, but also I am also an artist. So when somebody comes up to me and they're like, yeah, I'm charging like $40 for these tickets for the show, but I want to pay you $50 to do a 20-minute set. I'm sorry, what? No, not going to happen. Just because you don't see my value or can't afford my value, that doesn't change the value.
That's right. That's important. And just touching on that, it ain't you can't afford it because you think you can't afford it.
You think you can't afford it, or you're simply not willing to pay.
Right.
You don't agree with the value.
You just don't agree. You ain't willing to pay.
Right.
But that doesn't take away from the value. I love that
the value is the value. The price is
I love
price.
that you brought up when you walk into a product store. I love that because you know what you're saying? You're saying that you can't go trying to sell Gucci to people who can't afford it. And what I mean by afford in this manner, mentally and spiritually, you had to assess the value. It already have to relate to some values you have inside yourself. Like I did with mindset training and meditation. If you don't value mental clarity, right? If you don't value focus, right?
You're not going to pay for that.
You're not going to even be interested.
Right.
This isn't anything that interests you. If you don't value balancing your emotions and you rather be tossed to and fro by every little emotion that you have, your emotions are your God, right? If you rather your emotions be your God, then that's on you.
Right.
However, rich people do rich things.
Yeah.
Rich people do rich things. When you walk into that Gucci store, there's no debate about the price. Not only could you afford it, right? But you may have even came for extras.
Right.
People will come to me, those one that are aligned with you, I'm sure. They ain't just coming for one thing. Sometimes they may even come for poetry and find out about fitness. Right? And then find out it comes together in another way we ain't hear about yet.
Yes.
Right? And this is beautiful though. This is beautiful because
but
the rich
go ahead.
The rich upsell themselves.
Yes.
The rich upsell themselves. It is easy to sell to the rich. This is why I speak on the rich as a frequency and not as an individual or as a monetary status.
That right there is what
as a monetary status. I know that rub poor people the wrong way. That's why I keep saying it. I'm gonna keep saying it. Matter of fact, call me rich. As soon as I say rich, all right, I thought you said my name. I thought you said my name is Yahlil Lakwame. Real rap, because I'm from a place that is so mentally and spiritually impoverished. I had to become the opposite. But not only that, as a leader, I had to come up with a methodology to assist these people and myself. Not just these people, but myself. So what I'm saying is I had to cure poverty. And I had to understand the only way a poor person can be created, a poor neighborhood can create it, is from these poor energies. And these poor energies or spirits are being created from poor thoughts and poor mindsets. I say, hold up.
Practice.
That's right.
It's a poor practice.
It's a poor practice. I say, hold up. Let's assist these mindsets. And I and I don't cater to the people who don't want the Gucci.
Yeah.
Let's assist the people. That's why I say the leaders, the entrepreneurs, and the creatives.
So you said something. I want to jump back real quick because I specifically wanted to point out it's not so much a numbers game as it is a mindset, and it very much is a mindset. The same way as you take someone who's actually wealthy, who can afford it, they don't actually look at the price tag. The same way certain people come up to me and they're like, hey, I want to book you. Let me know your availability. Does this sound like, would this work for your schedule? Let me know your price. As opposed to other people who are going to have it with you or may not have it in their budget, because there's some people that run free shows, they might not have it in their budget. They lead with the numbers. Hey, how much did you charge for a set? How much would you charge to perform a piece? How much would you charge to perform X amount of time? They lead with the cost.
Great.
Whereas someone who's ready to work with you and they like, look, I done booked X, Y, and Z. I'm paid them $600. And it's no offense to me because I'm not as well known as some other poets, or I'm not a punchline heavy person. So they like, look, I know what I paid this person over here. You do. I know I can afford, your price. So whatever it is, I just want to know, are you available on this date? Bet, what's your price? Because I'm already ready to pay it. And it's two different mindsets.
That's right. That's right. Because some people are paying money for time, and some people, right, are paying their time for some money.
They're paying for the experience rather than can I get butts in the seat?
That's right.
Yeah.
And I say that because it's easier to assess the demographic and within your entire industry, right? But I like to use this same assessment as I'm dealing with people within the city, right? And the tri-state, because I understand where people come from. This is a major city.
Yeah.
Major cities mean the majority of people there are what? Yeah, they poor. Right? And I don't care how much money they may have. You can go in New York, there's a lot of rude people. And they get paid a lot more money.
Yeah, right? The cost of living is a lot higher.
I don't equate your monetary income to no form of riches. You don't get to do that in 2025 when China just exposed that everything that y'all done bought is fraudulent.
But I'm like,
the whole lifestyle been plastic, and I like that you said that because everyone is acting like this is a new idea.
Everybody's so like, oh my goodness, and I'm just like, where have you been?
Hold up, wealthy people been not spending money on that. Y'all knew that. Right. I think that's a poor thing, and we just want to act like we didn't know. We want to act like it and give us an excuse to be included because everybody want to be included. You're gonna tell me I seen people up into their 60s. Posting videos, so it ain't even like it's an age thing.
Yeah, right? But I think we are in a phase of life where this is the smoothest human brains have ever been.
Because nobody wants to do anything.
They want to be spoon-fed
fight for their life because what is required. What is required, you have to work for, and you have to work to maintain, and that's your aggression. They didn't demonize aggression. They didn't demonize ego. They didn't demonize anger. Coincidentally, you need all of those.
It's not even just that. I mean, they have literally eliminated it from your lineage.
That's right.
I mean, look at all the leaders that get assassinated or taken out in some kind of way. I mean, it's the same way as if a dog bites.
Right.
They will cut that dog down, and sometimes they will put down his his whole lineage because they say it's in the DNA.
And still in all. When I understand what happens in people's blood, but I also understand what happens in me and what also happens in that plant. There's still a sun up and right up above us. The sun is repairing its DNA at all times. All times. I don't believe sickness. I don't allow people to oversell me their sickness. I step to excuse immediately. You say you too sick? Oh, this me. How long you been sick? I got to think. I don't deal with people that have been sick for too long either.
Oh, okay.
Oh, you've been sick for how long? How long have you been depressed? For years. Go see someone or accept that as you. There's nothing I can do to assist you. Was I supposed to lie and pretend that I could assist someone that is on a 40-year healing tenure? This is why I got out of. This is why I left the healing industry. There is no healing industry anymore. There's only sick people who like to be sick people and want to be grouped up around sick people. Other sick people. Yes, I don't even trust. Wow. I don't even trust certain communities that oversell healing. You know what I sell when someone has a problem? I sell solutions. I sell graduations. I sell progress, meaning I'm checking in on you. I want to make sure you've done it. If you're not prepared to do anything, why? Because what I'm selling works. It works. So all of that, this ain't an Advil. I've been sick twice in my life. It's this ain't an Advil.
You're very lucky because I have allergies. So.
No, not lucky. Proactive.
You're proactive and you're blessed then.
You feel what I mean? Yeah. I'm proactive, and this is because my body has been geared to understand the difference in between what I want and what I need. I know clearly what I want and what I need, and some people blur the lines. Right where we from, a lot of people chasing they wants, when they should be after their needs. And a lot of people treating their needs like they want, or even people. A lot of people treat you like they want you when they really need you. Right? or vice versa. So yeah, I had to ask about Philadelphia. I wanted to ask how are you working with people here? I know me for myself. In the last 10 years, I am gonna say I've hired more people than I work with. I've hired nearly in the city alone, at least roughly a little under 100 people. You feel what I mean? From every form, every type of person, from cooks to admin, to graphic designers, to SEO managers, to site managers. I done hired people for every reason, for everything that I couldn't do, or everything that I devoted too much time towards. I paid the money for. You feel what I mean? But nevertheless, working with people, I found that it was easier for me now at this point to work with people who already work with people. I work with people that work with people. Right? And also offer solutions for the reasons we're not working with each other. Right? Because those people are also come from a world of avoiding, and they built a certain hedge, right? And I like to lower their guards, right, and remove or help them remove a lot of, right, the overguarding that we may do when we be meeting new people and so on and so forth. We be second guessing every new relationship. I have a mentee now who is second guessing an offer made by an entrepreneur who offered this individual a whole office space fully furnished with the things they may need.
Trying to figure out what kind of strings are attached.
10 to 50 grand on your own money. And you just
saying here.
You just coming from work is what I'm saying. You don't know nothing about what this finna cost you. And somebody likes you. They said, come on, this person is second guessing it. Right? I did a whole video on partnerships explaining the mindset of the partnership. This is why the video even before that or following had to do the mindset of the worker, because the worker bee don't understand profit as far as when you're dealing with people in new circles, when you're dealing with entrepreneurs. I say the worker bee may be coming from a world where their boss is the devil.
Oh my gosh.
And now I'm the entrepreneur. I could very easily look like your boss. You have subliminal feelings about me. Then hold up, and then you also want to be the boss. See, people at work also want to be the boss. So they live in this weird confusion of hating the boss and wanting to be the boss. So this is why I work with people that's transitioning from work to the entrepreneurial space. I need to make them aware of all the things that is happening subconsciously inside you, all the things that you have accepted, like the devalue mindset. You come from a place that devalue people. So for example, you looking at this person not valuing this entrepreneur. I done put all the numbers in the equation. You know that equipment finna run 1050 plus the overhead. You did real estate. You know what this building finna cost.
I think there's so much that goes into that, and I've been talking about this for a while now, that as a person with a quote unquote good heart, I'm like, sometimes I have to go against my better nature. like I have to go against what I naturally would do in certain spaces because not everybody deserves the benefit of the doubt.
No.
But also moving in a way that allows your actions to speak, where I'm not coming in with a jaded mindset like, oh, you just gonna be like everybody else. I'm not gonna speak that. I'm not gonna manifest that. But sometimes people will simply show you that, even if you give them that space. So when it comes to working with people in and around Philadelphia, I feel like I've cultivated my own personal relationships. I think I've cultivated great relationships with the artists or the people that I've brought in, because obviously sometimes you need help, like especially to curate and execute an entire show. I need help. I'm not an island. Like, so being able to reach out to community like, hey, I need some volunteers, yada, yada, yada. And people will step up to volunteer. But if I have it, then like at the end of the night, I know you volunteered, but like here, like everybody walks away with something. And I'm like, yo, my biggest flex wasn't selling out like this show that I was doing. It was actually paying every single person that lifted a finger to help me with the show. And that meant something to me. That meant more than selling out. Even though the show was amazing and everything, it's just like when I really went back and like looked at it, and I'm like, yo, I literally gave something to every single person, and that made me feel good. So I feel like I move in an authentic way. I let you know up front, like, hey, this is what I can do. This is the parameters, or, I'm not coming in this like roundabout, beat around the bush. Well, I mean, what would you? No, this is what I'm working with. This is the date. What's up? Are you interested? You know what I mean? Like I try to be a really straight shooter when it comes to working with people, because this is how I like to be dealt with. I don't like people who say one thing and you want to do another, or you say, oh, it's only going to be 1 and 2, but then next thing you know, 3, 4, and 5 quickly follows, and I'm like, well, that's not really what I agreed to. Now the agreement has changed because you've added all these other caveats to it, and I really try not to move in a way that adds caveats. Unsolicited, unexpected, whatever, caveats to my business relationships. And with fitness is a little more straightforward, just because I feel like there's less wiggle room. Like in a creative space, you can have people that's working for free to pull up for free, and then you have people that's trying to charge you $1,000. It's way too wide. If I come into a space of fitness and I'm like, hey, I'm going to teach a class, well, you have a very small window or a very small range that you're going to work with, with how much can I charge or get from this hour. So it's a little easier in the fitness space.
Yeah. My experience as far as being a teacher, being a consultant, it's been, like I said, rather easier for me to deal with people on my own frequency, deal with people who are already rich, right? And I've had an indifferent relationship or experience with people that aren't, right? And I'm sure everybody has these experiences, but I'm glad I learned early on, well, not early on, because it even felt too late, but I learned, and I've learned to associate myself with receiving energies, right? First and foremost, you got to already be receptive, no fighting. But as I'm working in the city, I found not all levels of business and creativity is the same, in the sense that everybody doesn't have the same sense of urgency, the same sense of seriousness, right? So I've learned just to associate with people who love it as much as I do, and probably the people I know that are going to win.
Okay.
That's easier. And also it sifts through everyone. Like even when I'm selling, no matter what I'm marketing, right? I understand that I'm marketing to a demographic, a large demographic, and it's going to be full of a lot of people. And although it's for the rich, everybody going to get the pitch.
Right.
But I understand that the price is high for a reason. Matter of fact, I made the prices high enough so you can't afford it. High enough so you could think twice
before doing it. Makes sense.
Right? And high prices, right? And they call them high, but they're not high prices. They are very much so affordable. Right? But high prices get you around high people. Low prices get you around low people.
Yeah.
Right? Low tickets get me around low people. Right? The ticket has changed for me. I come from a $10 ticket. Right? I'm on that. I got a $10,000 ticket now. You feel that? And everything in between. We're going to hit everything, every number in between.
Right.
But no more starting from the 25s, the 40s. No more starting from that. If you don't have at least 3 figures, right? That's not going to be a lot that we can do. Or if you don't plan, right, to at the least invest 3 figures into yourself and gaining whatever it is I have to offer, then it's not much we have to. If you thought that this was going to be a 2-figure game, and mind you, I deal with mindset training and meditation, and like I said, I'm about graduation. Performance rates mean everything. I like A students. Everybody graduate. Everybody leaves a superhero. Everybody leaves, right? Yeah. The individual they intended to leave as. So, which means, since the efficacy rate is so high, I don't. Not only do I not deal with people that's not trying to do the work, but also I don't deal with people that rather play with their money. People not playing with their funds. You feel what I mean?
Yeah.
So high prices get me to avoid. High prices get me high people. Low prices get me around low people. And as I've noticed, in the city, you got to determine what type of product do you have. Not just the value in it, but what type. Right? Meaning, is it a encouraging product or service, or is it a discouraging product or service?
Right.
Right? The encouraging ones may be more aligned with what we call a rich product. Poor people won't buy rich products. Right?
Yeah.
If I have a poor mindset, why would I want to fitness? Why would I want to work out? My mindset doesn't want to work out. I want these Twinkies on this Friday.
Oh my gosh.
Yes. You feel what I mean? So you have a rich product. No, you're a great example. This is a rich product. You have to have a rich mind to even want this. Poor people not going to want that. What I'm saying is I learned rather the hard way, because I came in with rich things. I came in first business after my mentoring program was a catering company. I was selling people food on a silver platter because I felt as though your imagination should see that. I live in my imagination. You should too, right? Silver platters. I say all that to say value is how I started. It was always value, and that's a rich spirit.
Yeah.
In the city, right, where the majority, right, may be poor spirits at the least.
Yeah,
right. I ain't gonna say everybody got poor minds, because we thorough. We ain't thorough enough to change though. We so thorough. We not thorough enough to work with each other.
Right.
We so thorough. I thought we was thorough. I'm telling you, I'm the man that really believed that thorough stuff about Philly. I thought we was so thorough that we could sit down and do right for these kids. That's when I started that mentoring program. I forced parents to use their money out of their own pocket, and guess how much I made it? So they couldn't complain. $7.
Oh wow.
More kids paid than parents, and then more parents they thought it was a daycare. They said, "No, come drop the baby." You say $7. He goes 21. Can we just keep?
Oh wow.
Can we give you $21? Right? I had to end it.
Yeah.
Because I didn't have enough people. Not that I couldn't hire the people, but I wanted to first use my energy to attract the right people that I would trust looking over these babies.
Yeah.
You had to be a person that was able to do it for free. If you're not ready to do whatever your purpose is for free, then that's not your purpose.
Most people aren't though. And that comes from, again, it's loaded. But, everybody we have more people out for self than out for community.
Yes.
I talk to a lot of dope people that have amazing ideas, and I say execution is everything. Like, it sounds good, but how do you get momentum? How can you organize? And then you can organize and put the people together, but again, execute. How do you get the idea off the ground? I've sat in so many rooms, I've sat on Zoom conversations, phone conferences, and just talk with, some of the biggest curators, and then some of these things just never come to fruition. And sometimes it's because it's the wrong person initiating. And that's another part of choosing who to work with and who to pour that time and energy into, because a lot of people can have the idea and you are just the ideas person. You're not the executor.
That's
you're
right.
not the leader. You're not the organizer. And a lot of people will feel like, well, I came up with this idea. I mean, I have all these connections. I am a leader. What have you led?
Now you want something they call creative rights.
Right.
You want creative rights over a project.
Yeah.
What is a project?
Like,
we all in this project.
Yeah, but you
but
get into, especially in the artistic space, you get into the egos.
Yep.
So yeah, it's not so much navigating the money as it is navigating the egos sometimes.
This is what you learn. This is what it takes. This is what it takes entrepreneurs, some of them, a real long time to understand. If you're not able to work for free, because we ain't just talking about your purpose.
Right.
And you walking in your purpose and doing that for free. Your purpose is to put on Band-Aids and you put on Band-Aids for free. Your purpose is to do accounting and you go offering accounting for free. Your purpose is to counsel people and you counsel people for free. I don't mean that. I mean, when it's time to actually put in some assisting someone, right? Like how people may assist you with volunteer work, or how many people just may not even in that aspect either. Let's say we building a partnership and we have a project and it ain't no money yet.
Right.
How can it be some money?
Right. Are you willing to invest?
All the hours we gotta put in. You on digital. You gotta put in a lot of hours on digital. Yes. I'm on this and you on that. And this person is on this.
And it takes
that's a lot of work for free that you're gonna have to do because you want to do it. I used to think as a leader there was something that I can tell you. There's nothing I can tell you. You have to already have it in you.
Yeah.
Period. And you have to already have it in you.
A lot of people won't move if they don't feel like it's something in it for them, but also how fast am I going to get that ROI? And it's just like, wait, nobody wants to wait for anything. I think that is the most tragic side effect of where we are technology wise. Everything is microwavable. Everything is quick, fast, in a hurry. You want a 4G or 5G experience in real life. With people's behaviors and actions and ROI on the things that you're putting out into the community, and it's not realistic.
I blame social media. I blame porn. I blame every aspect of life that you think that you're supposed to receive the reward immediately.
Yes.
People have been trained to think this, and this isn't.
You're not going
to survive in the entrepreneur world. You're going to have to put in a decade with making sure your bills paid and the kids taken care of, and I ain't got no money. Ain't got no money. I got walls. When people ask me what I got assets. I got assets.
Yeah.
Money. I don't want the money.
I ain't liquid.
Yeah. But even when I'm spending it. I'm an investor. I'm spending it at all time. Why would I want to be having some money? That's a poor man. He want to have because he's seeing it and make him feel good. When I see it, it makes me feel. Why aren't you working?
That's
what I say when I see money. That is an employee. Get up and go get to work. What are you sitting there for? Getting old and ugly, losing it. The other day, the dollar was down 60%. Come on now, that little dollar sitting there going broke.
Watch that stuff.
You feel what I mean? Dollar be sitting there going broke. You feel what I mean? So yeah, no, I had to understand. I wanted to understand just a little bit about Philadelphia and your experience your experience.
More ebbs and flows, and you keep saying like purpose, and I'm like, I feel like if I'm being completely honest, and this is less for you or the people out there that watch this, come across this video whenever it gets posted. This is more for me, and I'm still in a space of fully walking in my purpose or developing understanding on how to execute my purpose. And I'm like, I said earlier, like I'm an energy shifter, and I know that my vehicle of finding my purpose was getting into fitness, because it helped me discover my voice. It helped me to learn to amplify my voice, because I'm leading a whole class. I got to cue people and whatnot. And even though I had been performing spoken word poetry prior to getting into fitness, where I am now and how I perform and grace a stage now is completely different than 10 years ago, completely different from 5 years ago. Hell, I think I've leveled up since 3 years ago. Like, I think I've leveled up since last year. Like, it's a constant evolution, in finding my voice, amplifying my voice, and then also amplifying the voice of others who are shrinking themselves and being quiet. And I think that's always going to be part of who I am and what I was designed to do.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Well, I can tell you this. First and foremost, it's Freedom Friday.
Mm-hmm.
Freedom Fridays, we free ourselves with a bunch of different things. But I say that to say that as we free ourselves mentally, spiritually, and physically, and prepare ourselves for this weekend, I can tell you without shadow of a doubt that your immune system is operating at its finest. Okay? I say that to say only people that meet me, their immune system has to be working. Right? You heard my immune system. So your immune system is working. Why? Because it is meta energy or attracted an energy, right? That can assist it, and vice versa, that you can also assist. I say all that to say, usually when a person's immune system isn't working properly, they're usually a bad person for me to even converse with. Why? Because their immune system would be rejecting me at all times. I'm a medicine, right? And a false, this how a conversation goes with people of this nature. They can come with a problem, come telling me the problem, and I'm careful. I won't even say, well, you should. And I've been doing it for way too long. I'm avoiding intellectual antibodies. There's a real thing that happens. Yes, intellectual antibodies. So I can't. They need to never even stand up for me. I need to be that gentle with your mind, right? But nevertheless, let's just say I say something like, "Have you ever meditated?" Right? I may ask some things like, "You come to all your problems. I'm emotional, this and this, that, and the third, and this, that, and the third." Right? Okay. What things have you done, right, to address your situation? No matter where you are in life, right? You're a leader, you're leading a whole group of people, right? And you're allowing your position, right, to translate in the home. You're taking this energy back into the house. Whatever your problem is, we're going to ask, well, what have you done, right, to address your situation? What things have you done?
Right.
And you may say a few things, and that's where I come. I'm coming to the gates of your intellectual antibodies. I'm touching them on the hand, asking them, can I come in with this question? I'm saying, have you ever tried meditation?
Have you ever tried meditation? That's hilarious.
When I say that, man, some people, antibodies, they do, some of them do one or two things if they raised. When they raised, they say, I did that down work. They do that from the rip. It's fast too. I did down work.
Like, so you did it and you
already up.
You tried it more than once and it don't work. Like,
I got back up. Well, that's okay.
It's not just okay, I'm gonna sit here and be quiet for 30 seconds. Like, that's not meditating. But nonetheless, again, that
even if I ask, no, it could be a follow-up question. Well, maybe you may have not properly meditated. Are you sure you're doing it correctly? I'm smiling and all that. Oh, I did it. I took a class. Somebody walked me through it. It's all a lot to somebody walked me through it, and it may not be, right? But nevertheless, I can tell that it's rejecting. That's what I mean.
Yeah.
The immune system and rules, and the antibodies and rules, and told me the immune system ain't going this direction. Are you trying to help us? No.
I talk about this all the time about mindsets being contagious. and on the serious but like kind of funny, like a comedic note, one of my poems talks about the real STDs, which I named sexually transmitted demons and sexually transmitted depression.
I heard this one.
Yeah, the
that
sexually transmitted depression. And I'm like, yeah, like contagious mindsets is in fact a thing.